Who's coming with me?
It's a short shot. We the source now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sick as a plate of lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. It's a short shot. We the source now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sick as a plate of lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. Kill the cancer, you can call me a sick assassin. Cut the chains, you can call me LeBron James. Make a decision, but you never had me in derision. Change the vision, but mark them that cause division. For real? Never in submission like I need permission. Niggas steady telling lies like a politician. Nigga need to cool it down, but we the new edition. Yes. Yeah, the name is the source. Check the reinvention. For real? You think we not prepared for the fallout? Watch us stack this information. Watch us.
Yo. Yo. Is it that time? Is it that time? Huh? It's going down here at the Source Debate League, man. The Elimination Chamber in full effect, man. And this is what it's all about. Huh? Who got the testicular fortitude to come take this? Huh? Only Debate League handing out belts, man. Right? They want to steal our swag, Joshua. They want our flavor. Right? We want to bring the flavor to the game, man, here at the Source Debate League, man. Right? Where no one does it better. Right? Where champions are made. We got a good one in store for y'all. Got the Scholastic Bully Source heavyweight champion in the building. Talk to us, Joshua.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to get the Elimination Chamber off the ground and get started. Which one of these young wolves going to progress to the next round? That's what I want to see, man. Who gonna knock out the other debater, man? Who gonna throw them bowls? Who gonna lay them hands? Who gonna show their intellectual prowess? So, hey, LV and HananYah made the best man win. Best of luck to both debaters. I want to see a fight, brothers.
That's right, man. It's going down here at the Source Debate League. Elimination Chamber. Huh? Right? Where champions are made. Listen, man, this was personal, Joshua. Right? LV said he got an axe to grind, right? He got a problem with the Precepticons, right? Huh? It's his time to shine, man. He said it's over, man. It's his time to shine, man. But I think young brother HananYah got something to say about that, man. Right? So welcome to the Source Debate League, man. It's going down. All right. I want to introduce the judges. Because see, here at the Source, this is how we get down, right? It's imperative that the judges are selected from 3 different schools of thought. It's important, man, right? So here at the Source, you're going to be judged. Here at the Source, it's not a monopoly. We're going to have a Christian. We're going to have an Israelite. We're going to have a non-believer, whether you be a Muslim, an atheist, dealing with Kemet, whatever school of thought that you're coming from. These are the different persuasions. So it's up to the debaters to present their information, not from a standpoint of these people are knowledgeable with your information. I believe that makes it a tougher event, right? So we're not going to be blamed for a biased judge, right? We're not going to have these type of problems here at the Source, right? So Joshua, man, let's introduce the judges.
All right, we got our brother Dunamis that's going to be judging. Can you introduce yourself to the panel?
How y'all doing? Grace and peace, shalom, hotep. Name is Dunamis. I'm a Christian. I'm here to judge fairly, hear the arguments, and go from there.
Okay, we got Christians hotepping it up. Okay. Go ahead, Joshua.
We also got our brother Asar that will be judging today's debate.
In the top piece, y'all know what it is. It's going to go down how it always go down, straight down the middle, baby. The balance.
That's right.
And last but not least, we got our brother MASHAYACH that will be judging today's debate.
Hey, Shalom, more praise and glory to YAHAWAH, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. Future ready. We here.
That's right. And we got our timekeeper, man. Sister Shaya in the building. Say peace and blessings, sis.
Shalom. Looking forward to a mighty debate. Keep it clean.
All right, so real quick, Joshua, let's explain. Oh, hold on, man. My fault. We got the founder in the building, man. Salakia, man. Let me introduce General Yashar in the building, man. Talk to us, family.
Man, Shalom, family. You know, it's always a great opportunity to share some information. And why not on this awesome platform with all these good brothers and awesome sisters, man? You know? Hey, I'm happy to be back. You know what I'm saying, family? Tap in, get your pen and papers together. Because y'all going to have to do y'all own research of what these brothers is bringing up. Because I'm pretty sure y'all don't know nothing about it. And if you do, judge fairly, right? Because that's what we all about. So with that being said, let's get to it. Shalom.
Man, we got the Texas Rattlesnake in the building, man. The man is always lurking, man. With the middleweight champion in the building, say peace and blessings to the family. Right?
Man, what's up? I say Shalom and boom shakalaka and a bag of rocks to y'all too. You know what I'm saying? I want to see a good fight, man. Y'all get down, man.
That's right. All right, Joshua, man. So you want to explain the time so we get this time right? Make sure that they understand the time for those that are watching.
Yes, both debaters have agreed to 3 rounds. The first and second round will be 10 minutes each, and the third round will be 15 minutes. And we'll go from there to the 5 questions per debater, the Q&A segment, with a 30 second to 1 minute time to give the question and a 2-minute response for each question. So both brothers agreed to that during the preliminary. And the topic is, did Christ give the laws on Mount Sinai? And LV is the negative, and HananYah is the affirmative.
All right, man. Sister Shaya, you got that?
Khan, just one point of clarity. Do we want to give a 1 minute or 2 minute alarm for the rounds?
Yes.
Which one? You want to do like 2 minutes and
do a 2 minute alarm.
Okay.
All right. So how you brothers decided who's going first?
We haven't decided.
All right. Who want to go first, man?
Flip a coin live. Somebody go flip a coin live. Let me pull a quarter out.
Yeah, go ahead and flip a coin, Jeremiah.
All right, let me see if I got some coins here. Oh, there's a coin.
Call it. Somebody got to call it.
Is it a quarter?
All right.
Who said heads?
Yo, Jeremiah, is it a quarter?
Who said heads?
It's a nickel, brother. Do you
Who said heads?
Y'all said heads.
I'm gonna go first. I just wanted to know if you had some change around you. That's all.
Okay, then we got it. We got our order. All right, here we go.
All right, so you going first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. You do something else, man. All right, man. Let's get it in, man. It's on you. Your time starts when you start.
Okay. Let me share my screen. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know when it could be seen.
All right, and we'll get that track in at the intermission as y'all transition out of the 3 rounds, all right?
Understood.
Timer starts now.
You're visible.
Can you see my screen?
Start the time when
you're visible.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the Source Debate League, man. It's always a wonderful space for me to come and show and prove every time. And I appreciate HananYah for allowing me to be his opponent. Did Christ give the laws to Moses on Mount Sinai? My clear position is no, which is called the negative. And the wonderful thing about having these preliminaries is we get to ask questions to further peer into a person's idea so that we can properly fortify ourselves in an argument. With that being said, I go to my second piece of evidence. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Do you believe Christ is an angel?
No.
Okay. Well, let's do this. I'm going to play it from. Give me 1 second. Boom. Go ahead and
LB, we could hear it. We heard the clip.
He just said you could. Okay, well, play it on the screen. I'm sorry. Play it on the screen. I put it in there as a video drop. Go ahead and play that for me, please. Do you believe Christ is an angel?
No.
By
angel, do you?
Okay, so clearly my opponent believes that Christ gave the laws on Mount Sinai, but Christ is not an angel. So the only thing that left to do is to actually go into the Bible at this point and to show and prove how that's utterly ridiculous and wrong, because the Bible is clear on this point. Are you back to my screen?
I am now.
Okay, first I'll take you to Acts 7:53. I'll put the scripture in red so we can see it clearly. Who have received the law by disposition of the angels and have not kept it? Question, who is receiving the law and by angels? This is clearly a reference to Moses receiving these laws, and I'm going to make that clear as we go through the round. I put my source, that's the Bible gateway right there. And I feel it necessary to also define disposition, because this is a common thing that you need to be aware of when we talk about who is operating on God's behalf. We have disposition, a person's inherent quality of mind and character. Second definition, the way in which something is placed or arranged, especially in relation to other things. This relation is obviously into God, his will. This definition comes from Oxford Languages, Google search, anybody can go and find it. A person's inherent quality of mind and character. So if that person is said angel, then the mind and quality of that character would obviously be of the creator. So when we go back to Acts 7:53, when it says who have received the law, Moses, by disposition of angels and have not kept it. Have not kept it is in reference to those who have it, but who received it was Moses clearly, and it was given by deposition of angels. I go to my second scripture, which is Acts 7:38. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angels who spake to him in Mount Sinai, and with our fathers who received the lively oracles to give to us. Now, wait a second. When it says this is he, who is in that reference? Who is that a reference to? When it says that was in the church, wait a minute. So that he is amongst the church in the wilderness. And then it goes further to clarify to say with the angels which spake to him in Mount Sinai. Wait a minute. Christ isn't an angel, but Christ gave the law on Mount Sinai, but these are angels giving it on Mount Sinai per verse 7:38 and Acts. We can't gloss over this. This is key, because he's going to play trickery, games, what I believe to be a lot of parallelism, but the Bible was clear and distinctive on who and what this is. And per his omission, he said that Christ is not an angel. Now he's going to try to define it, but we're going to bust that right in the head too. Don't worry about that. Y'all just wait a minute. Y'all wait a second. I'm going to go to Galatians 3:38. What purpose then does the law, We're clear here. The law served. It was added because of transgression. Till the seed shall come through whom the promise was made, and it was appointed through angels by the hand of a mediator. Who's the mediator? Who's the angel? He already said Christ isn't an angel. So why are we seeing an appointment, something being appointed, the law, by the hands of, through angels, by the hand of a mediator? Moses is that mediator. Those are angels he's involved with on Mount Sinai and throughout the Old Testament, and we're going to show that clearly as well. I'm going to go to you know what? Yeah, we'll land right here. Exodus 19:3. We're going to jump into the Blue Letter Bible, and I'm going to open up all these sources later on when it comes time to choking the air out of my opponent. But right now, we'll just merely reference them. Exodus 19:3. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. Now, when you go to your Blue Letter Bible, we have God. God is referenced as Elohim. And the number for this, so everybody can be clear, all of the judges, H430. And that's going to be very important when I show the relationship between Elohim and angels. And I think I'll land right there, man. I appreciate the time.
Okay, thank you. You have about 3 minutes left.
Okay. Look, LV is talking that talk, Joshua. He talking that talk.
Came out swinging.
The man put the audio on that man, okay? Played the man's own words, okay? All right? Christ is not an angel. Christ is not an angel, right? Well, if he's not an angel, who is this here? Great points, man. Great points. I'm very interested to see how HananYah is going to handle this, man. What say ye, Joshua?
Hey, man, I just want everybody to go check LV's gloves, because I don't think he hitting with regular hands, bro. He might got rocks in his gloves or something. He hitting real hard in his first round. Somebody check that brother's gloves, man.
Okay.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
It's on HananYah, man. Let's see what HananYah got, brother.
Yeah. Are you there, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
The power of Christ compels you.
Hey, I'm going to share my screen. Are you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let's get it. All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's loading up.
It's there.
It's on you.
All right. So we're finna discuss, did Christ give the law at Mount Sinai? That was bad misunderstanding of what the brother read out of Acts 7, and a bad understanding out of what he read in Exodus 19 and verse 3. Can we go to the next slide, please? And when I say slide, I want to move expeditiously throughout this presentation. So we have to understand something here.
Hey man, watch your filthy mouth, man. I'm sliding as fast as I can, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. So let's investigate, what did Jesus Christ say about the Father? We're going to go to John, the book of John, chapter 5 and verse 37. And it reads, And the Father himself, which has sent me, hath borne witness of me. Ye have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape. So Christ is making a statement that nobody has heard his voice or seen his shape. Let's get further understanding on this. John 6:45. John 6:45 reads, "It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of God. Every man, therefore, that hath heard and hath learned of the Father cometh unto me. Not that any man hath seen the Father, save he which is of God. He has seen the Father." So let's get some understanding on this. Let's go to Colossians chapter 1. Colossians chapter 1, and we're going to pick it up at verse 15. Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15. And it reads here. Colossians 1 and 15. And it reads, "Who is the image of the invisible God," referring to Christ. "Christ is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created that in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist," right? So we see here that the Father is the invisible God. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 17. 1 Timothy 1 and 17 reads, "Now unto the King eternal, immortal, invisible, the only wise God, be honor and glory forever and ever. Amen." Right? We see that that's referring to the Father. Now, let's draw this point home and go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 12. And it reads, "And the Lord spake unto you out of the midst of fire. Ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude, only ye heard a voice." So Christ said, "You have never heard the voice of God," right? But he's saying here, but what's being said here by Moses is that a voice was heard, but no similitude was saw by the people. So let's investigate this even further, right? Let's go to my next slide. We're going to go to Exodus 24. Now, the brother went to Exodus 19:3, where he read that God was in the mountain where Moses was. So we're going to go to Exodus 24, and we're going to pick this up. Exodus 24, verses 9 through 12. And it reads, "Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and they saw the God of Israel." They saw, not the whole multitude of Israel and the mixed multitude that came out of Egypt, but the elders saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet as it were a paved work of sapphire stone, as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand. Also they saw God and did eat and drink. And the Lord said unto Moses, "Come up to me in the mount," like the brother read in Exodus 19:3. God was in the mountain. God is saying, "Come up to me in the mount and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone and a law and commandments which I have written, thou mayest teach them." So God is saying not only is he in the mount, but he's going to give Moses the law. So let's go to Exodus 33 and verse 10. Exodus chapter 33 and verse 10. And it reads, "And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshiped, every man in his tent door. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face." The Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle, right? So we see here that God is speaking to Moses face to face. So now we must question something that's in the latter portion of Exodus 33. Let's jump down to verse 20. Exodus 33, 20 through 23, and it reads, "And he said, Thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. And the Lord said, Behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by, that I will put thee in a cliff of the rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away mine hand, and thou shalt see my back part, but my face shall not be seen." So God is speaking to Moses and saying, you can't see me in my glory. The emphasis is on glory, right? But he says in the earlier portions of this chapter that the Lord is speaking to Moses face to face, right? So it says there was a God seen by Abraham. Let's go to Genesis 18 and verse 3, because we have to understand something. Who is this God of the Old Testament? And we're going to identify that God throughout the duration of this presentation. So this is Genesis 18 verses 1 through 3. And it reads, and the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day, referring to Abraham, and he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground. And he said, my Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. So Abraham is seeing the Lord, and we're going to get further understanding of that later on throughout this presentation. We're going to go to Genesis 19 to verify that this is the Lord here. Genesis 19:24 says, then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. Right now, my opponent LV, he mentioned the term parallelism. Is this what is this the position of ancient Israel, that there was parallelism when the Most High was speaking, or when the God of Israel was speaking? We're going to further examine this throughout the duration of this presentation, right? So let's go to Exodus chapter 6. So we see here that the Lord met Abraham, right? Genesis 19 says that the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah fire and brimstone from the Lord out of heaven. So there's one Lord on earth, one Lord in the heaven. And I'm going to show that there's 2 powers in the heavens. And this was a thought process of the ancient Israel during this time period. This is Exodus chapter 6. And I'm going to read verses 1 through 3. Then the Lord said unto Moses, now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh, for with the strong hand shall he let them go, and with the strong hand shall he drive them out of his land. And God spake to Moses and said unto him, I am the Lord, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty, but by my name Jehovah was I not known to them. So we see here that the Lord is making extremely clear that he appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So now we're going to further examine something, right? Because I'm sorry, go ahead.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, we're going to go to John chapter 8, and I'm just trying to lay the groundwork real quick. We're going to go to John chapter 8, and we're going to investigate this God that appeared unto Abraham. We're going to look at Christ's word. John 8:56-59 read, your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Then said the Jews unto him, thou art not yet 50 years old. Hast thou seen Abraham? So they hold to a position similar to what LV holds to. Let's continue to read. Verse 58, Jesus said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. So the Lord is, Jesus is saying, the Messiah is saying that Abraham rejoiced to see the Lord's day, and he saw it. We just read in Genesis 18 where the Lord saw Abraham. So during the next round of this, we're going to identify this Lord. Okay, so I'll stop right there, and I'll hand it over to my opponent, LV. I yield.
45 seconds remaining.
Yo. Okay. So a case has been made. A case has been levied.
Stop sharing the screen.
Gotcha. All right. So a case have been made and a case have been levied. All right. So with the presentation and the information that the man brought forth, we see there are certain accounts. There are certain accounts where a presence was seen, according to the scriptures, according to the information that the brother brought forth, man. Powerful information. Joshua, what say ye?
Man, I'm looking forward to this next round and see how both of these brothers box it out in the next round, brother.
That's right. Very important round right here. LV, you ready?
I'm ready. Can I be heard?
Loud and clear.
Well, clearly I'm experiencing the same tactic that multiple people do time and time again. First and foremost, you're jumping all over the place. You went to John 5:37, John 6:45, Colossians 1 and 15. Then you went back to the Old Testament, Exodus 24 and 29, 9 and 12, Exodus 33, 10 through 11, Genesis. It then went back to John 8 and 56. A lot of jumping around as if these contexts are the same, as if the writers of these books are the same. They are not the same. Later writings build on the motif of older writings, and it's clear. It influences them throughout the entirety of their life. So when they're writing these later scriptures, they're going to line it up with similitudes and parallels for you to get the overall message. This is the point of writings and having a succession of writings. This is simple. You said the Lord spoke to him face to face. Okay, but we have other scriptures where it says no man can see my face. So you're going to have to explain these type of things. You can't just put one narrative and one side out of there. You have to make sense of what's actually being said. And then you went into the, you talked about glory, but you didn't define the glory. You just left it as some type of cliffhanger. Don't mention it if you're not going to go into it and actually expound on it. You're misleading people so that they can actually adhere to a preconceived notion instead of digging into the information. But since we're talking about information, let's get back to the PowerPoint. Let's do that.
Talk that talk, LB.
I think that'll be appropriate. I'm just going to simply pick off where I left off. You mentioned 19 and 3 in Exodus, but once again,
show us PowerPoint. Show us PowerPoint. Hold this time. Show us. There you go.
I just go right back to Exodus 19 and 3. Once again, I have the reference to the Blue Letter Bible. I'm going to actually open it up and we're going to see into it a little bit more. But once again, the word for God there is Elohim. This is important. I want you to remember this. Elohim. All right. I'm going to go into angel simplified. And this comes from the Biblical Encyclopedia, just for anybody's curiosity. It's sourced right here. Then we're just going to read an excerpt. Angel, used in the Septuagint in New Testament. Remember, he doesn't believe Christ is an angel. For the Hebrews, malach, a word signifying both in the Hebrew and Greek, a messenger. And therefore used to denote whatever God employs to execute his purpose. Wait a minute. You're talking about the context of the ancient Israelites and their thought process, which you directly said, but why are you failing to see their thought process on angels and how God uses anything to enact his will or to deliver a message? If you truly was adhering to the thought process of the ancient Israelites, then you would know a wind hitting your face can be an angel per the message you receive. A baby doing a task can be something angelic based on what you receive from it. God uses a multitude of ways in order to interact with whatever. But you're failing to actually see that. Let's just keep going. Or to manifest his presence or power. Hence, often with the addition of Jehovah and Elohim. Wait a second. Elohim, I heard that before. Is that the term for God in Exodus 19 and 3? So can this Elohim in fact be an angel per my source? We're not just talking, we actually punching right here. Okay, just you know what? Y'all think I'm lying. I got something for you. Watch this. I'll drop this really quickly. I'm just going to pop up another screen just for the decency right here. Keep the time going. It's okay. It's plenty of time. This is plenty of time. I'm going to go to the McClinton and Strong's. Please show my source, man. If you don't know who McClinton and Strong is, you definitely need to beef up on your scholarship. The forerunners in Hebrew and Greek translations. Let's see what they had to say. Let's keep it fair. This is a long excerpt showing you, but we have to give you a condensed version in order for you guys to see what can be and what cannot be. Once again, angel, used in the Septuagint, New Testament, for the Hebrew, malach, a word signifying both in the Hebrew and Greek, messenger. You see how it just says messenger? Messenger. and therefore used to denote whatever. Wait a second. Whatever? Does whatever qualify anything? God employs to execute his purpose or to manifest his presence. There's a presence on Mount Sinai. That presence is an angel, an Elohim. And he just read it in the script that it's an Elohim. But I'm going to show how it's an angel so you disqualify Christ. This is simple. This is simple. Like I said, if you're going over Hebrew Israelite everything, you're going to have to hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some Christian in it. You're not just going to do what you want to do. Let me show you guys something really quickly, man. I see what's happening here. I see what's going on. Somebody's playing with me.
Talk to him, LV. Talk to him.
Just in case you don't understand. Look where Sinai is. It's actually Egypt. We're talking about Moses, Exodus from Egypt to Israel, to where they commune in these mountains from this space. So understand where we're talking about when we're discussing this, and understand the importance that it holds in its culture, since we're using cultural things. Sometimes we're not going to adhere to the McClellan and Strongs. I don't know why, but we should. So I'll be ending my round right here, just showing you guys exactly where Mount Sinai is, its relationship, to understand the context of Moses. Well, we're going to dig into that some more. This third round gets nasty. It's not regular. It's extra. And I'm going to be extra the whole way through, because I have to make a point here. I want my rematch. Let's get it.
Ooh, talk to him, LV.
2 minutes and 57 seconds remaining.
Jeremiah.
Yes, sir.
LV owes an apology, man. This brother lied. This brother lied to me. The brother said, I'm not a debater. I'm not a debater. Brother, you could have fooled me, man. You could have fooled me. What say you, Jeremiah?
Woo! It's going down. Yo, just shoot, man. What's going on in here, man? Yo, it's getting hot, man. Woo! Getting hot in here, man.
I know we're gonna have to turn the AC on or something, man. It's kind of getting hot in here, man. It's getting muggy, man.
Hey,
I don't know what's going on.
It's going on. Yo, HananYah, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yo, man, it's time for the turn up, man. Hey, man, LV ain't playing no games, man. All right. It's time for the turn up, man, right now. All right. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Can you pull up my slide?
Yes, sir. Can you see it? Hey, listen, real quick before you get started, man. Let me shout out. Let me make this disclaimer real quick, right? So we're streaming on multiple channels. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on Facebook. We're also streaming in Clubhouse, man. Shout out to the Clubhouse streets, man. Shout out to the Clubhouse streets. Please share the room. Please share the room. Shout out to Sister Nitsa, Brother Karaf holding us down. Raw Religious in the building, right? They holding us down in the Clubhouse streets, man. They here to see the smoke. They here to see the smoke. All right, it's on you, Watt.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you go to my next slide?
Got you. Got you. 1 second here. Let's go.
All right, right there, right there. Yes, sir. So the brother mentioned something referring to angel. The Hebrew term for angel is malak. And the writers of the Old and New Testament have words and that they use for messenger. So when the translators transliterated the text, they put in place English words when it's referring to messengers. But the brother just made a statement in saying that Mount Sinai is located in Egypt. I just want to make this clear for everybody that's listening. This is Galatians chapter 4 and verse 25. For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answereth to Jerusalem, which now is, and is in bondage with her children. So Paul in Galatians chapter 4 is saying that Mount Sinai is in Arabia, not the place that he showed in his PowerPoint. So there's a misunderstanding in the information that he's presenting to the audience. Next, we're going to go to Hebrews chapter 1, and I'm going to read this here. This is Hebrews chapter 1, and I'm going to read verse 1 and 7. God, who at sundry times spoke in divers manners, spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets. In verse 6 it says, and again, when he bringeth the first begotten into the world, he said that all the angels of God worship him. And of the angels, he said, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire, right? So it's making known that unto his angels, he's never said, you are my son, right? In Hebrews chapter 2 verse 16, it says here, for verily he took not on him the nature of angels, talking about Christ never took on the form of the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. So Christ never appeared in the form of angels. So when we get an understanding of who this messenger is, this is going to be demonstrated throughout the duration of this presentation. We're going to go to Isaiah chapter 12, and we finna identify something here. And this is very important. Isaiah chapter 12. Yes, sir. Right there. Isaiah chapter 12. Isaiah chapter 12. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 1. Isaiah chapter 12 and 1. And it reads, and in that day shalt thou say, O Lord, I will praise thee. Though thou wast angry with me, thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. Behold, God is my salvation. That Elohim there for God, which is a uniplural word meaning two or more. I will trust and not be afraid, for the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song. He is also become my salvation. So I read early in the first round that Exodus 6 says the Lord is Jehovah, who appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we're reading here, and what you see on the screen is the Hebrew word for salvation, which is Yeshua. Okay, the Hebrew word for salvation is Yeshua. So in retrospect, what's being said is, for the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song. He also is become my Yeshua, which is the name of the Messiah that came in the flesh. Now, may you scroll up to the previous slide where you was just there? The one before that one? Yes, sir. That right there. We're going to go to the book of John, chapter 19. Now we just read that the Lord God has become my salvation, or the Lord Jehovah has become my Yeshua. Now in John 19, in verse 19, it says, and Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross, and the writing was Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Now what you see here on the screen is it being written in Hebrew, because in verse 20 of John 19 it says, this title then read many of the Jews, for the place where Jesus was crucified was not to the city, and it was written in Hebrew and Greek and in Latin. So what we're doing is looking at the Hebrew, and it says Yeshua HaNazareth Melech HaYahudim, which is the Yod Hey Wav Hey. So we see where it says the Lord Jehovah is my salvation, my Yeshua. Go down to the next slide. Next slide, brother. Yes, sir. Right there. Right there. So we have here the Yod Hey Vav Hey, known as the Tetragrammaton. What does the Yod Hey Vav Hey, the Tetragrammaton, mean? Behold nail, behold hand. So the Yod Hey Vav Hey is the one that's going to behold the nail and behold the hand. Now, we just demonstrated this, that Jehovah has become a Yeshua. Now we're going to go to Acts chapter 4 to demonstrate how Yod Hey Vav Hey, or Jehovah, has become my Yeshua, also known as salvation. We're going to go to Acts chapter 4. Go down to my next slide. Acts chapter 4, and we're going to read verses 7 through 12. And it reads, and when they had set them in the midst, they asked, by what power or by what name have ye done this? Then Peter, filled with the Holy Ghost, said unto them, ye rulers of the people and the elders of Israel, if we this day be examined of the good deed done to the impotent man, what means he is made whole, be it known unto you all and to all the people of Israel that by the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, so we read in English Jesus Christ of Nazareth, but in Hebrew it will be Yeshua HaMashiach of Nazarene, which we see is the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, whom ye crucified, whom God raised from the dead. Even by him doth this man stand here before you whole. Verse 12, neither is there salvation in any other. So the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, the Jehovah, has become the salvation or the Yeshua for his people. For there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. So we see here that in Isaiah 12 and Acts 4, 7 through 12, that not only is in Isaiah 12, Yeshua become our salvation, the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh has become our Yeshua, also known as the salvation. We see in Acts 4 and verse 12 that he literally is become our salvation, which is still demonstrating in Hebrew the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Now we're going to go, brother, go to my next slide. Now we have to understand something about this Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, that God, this God that's to redeem Israel and the world is married to Israel. We're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 3. And we're going to read verse 14. Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 14. And it reads, turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you of one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. So this Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is saying that he is married to the nation of Israel. We're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 16 and read verse 9. Jeremiah 16 and 9. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your ears and in your days the voice of mirth, the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride. Who is this bridegroom? We're going to investigate who this bridegroom is when we go over here to Matthew chapter 9. Bridegroom is the one that's married to the bride, which is the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh.
2 minutes.
And in Matthew chapter 9, verse 15, we read, and Jesus said unto them, can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken from them, and then shall they fast. So we see here from what I demonstrated so far in the first two rounds is that the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh that has become our Yeshua, our salvation, right, is the bridegroom, which is known as the God of Israel, that's married to the children of Israel. Okay, so from everything that I demonstrated so far, including that the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh has never appeared at any time in the form of angels, but he is delivering a message of someone, but that doesn't make him an angel. And the translator would use the proper term angel or messenger in its proper context, which we see from the information that the brother LV has demonstrated with us on his PowerPoint. He doesn't have the context. The context of Mount Sinai isn't in Egypt, it's in Arabia. The context of messenger is one that's delivering a message coming from someone else. Could it be an angel? Absolutely not, because his understanding of Acts 7:38 is horrendous. In Acts 7:38, let's read this here. And it's something that he missed out. In Acts 7 and 38, it says, this is he that was in the church in the wilderness. Who is the he that's being referenced? It's being referenced to Christ. It's being referenced to the God of the Tanakh, the God of the Old Testament, the God of the children of Israel, the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh that's married to the children of Israel. He, like we read in Exodus chapter 6, appeared unto Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob. He, the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, the one who has become our Yeshua, our salvation, is the one that was in the wilderness that we read about in Exodus 24 that I eloquently demonstrated in Exodus 24. Now, for this present time, I yield and looking forward to my third round.
Yo. Yo.
There will be 0 time remaining.
Yo, that cock-a-doodle-doo, that was off. Okay, let me make that clear. All right.
I've been wanting to hear the whole time, so get over it.
You couldn't wait. You was dead.
Stop the screen share.
What?
Stop the screen share.
Yo,
Can I be heard?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. One second, LVZ. I know you ready.
He see blood, man. He ready to
Yeah,
jump back in there, man.
Yeah, man. Look, man. We getting a lot of love in the clubhouse streets, man. Getting a lot of love. I want to ask you brothers coming over to the clubhouse after the show. Maybe we can get some questions from the audience.
LV, HananYah.
HananYah.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Y'all coming over to the clubhouse, man. Get some questions from the audience.
Oh, yes, sir. Most definite. I'll be in there.
All praise
I'm gonna be there.
All praise. Win, lose, or draw, man. Win, lose, or draw. All right. Hey, Joshua. That Mount Sinai in Egypt, man. Woo! It's hot up under this leather sweat, man. I got going on over there. I ain't gonna lie. It's getting hot up underneath there, boy.
Hey, this called the Elimination Chamber for a reason, man. Somebody gonna go on the next round, and somebody gonna go home. Let's see who it's gonna be, brother.
Right. For those that just jumping in, you are at the Source Debate League Elimination Chamber Tournament, 16-man tournament. This is the first debate, right? HananYah said, man, I want to be the first debate, right? And LV was with all the smoke, man. So look, man, let's get it, man. LV, are you ready?
I'm ready. Can I be heard?
Loud and clear, brother.
Once again, brother, you have the affirmative. You have to be distinctive and actually show Christ. You haven't shown Christ, and hopefully that you can do that in your third round. But as it sits, as of right now, it's a lot of playing around. I get it that you're trying to match my energy, but I can sense fake energy. So you might as well cut it off and come back with the humble spirit. First and foremost, there's some things I want to address. You were confused because when I showed my presentation, which I'll do in a second, you misquoted me to say that I said that Mount Sinai is in Egypt. But because you don't study, you don't understand where Sinai comes from. It comes from the desert in Egypt. I'm going to go to another source just to put you in your place a little bit. We have the Jewish Encyclopedia, Mount Sinai, mountain situated in the desert of Sinai, famous for its connection with the promulgation of the law by God through Moses. The general opinion of modern scholars is that the name Sinai is derived from the name of the Babylonian moon god, Sin. You understand that? So when we talked about the cultural context and we talk about them leaving out of Egypt, do you understand what that actually means and how words translate into other meanings later on based on what a culture and people have been through? Do you understand that? So maybe it'll make more sense when you mention Yeshua's name meaning salvation. Do you think the word salvation was invented when he was named? Or do you think that the Hebrew words have meanings? Or do you think Hebrew names have meanings? Don't equate it to English, my friend. Keep it in the cultural context. That thing you were talking about, you're trying to keep it similarly to just wording. You have to align this with what they actually lived. So understand what Mount Sinai is and where the name comes from. You ever heard of the Sinai Peninsula? Have you, sir? Please don't answer. I'll just go into another reference online just to furthermore show and demonstrate that you misrepresented me and you don't know what you're talking about. If you understood the close proximity and locale of these actual places, then you would understand your grave error. You see where it says Mesopotamia? You see where it says Egypt? You see where it says Arabia? Do you see these waterways? Do you understand how they traveled? Clearly you don't. And I did not say that it's in Egypt. You took the picture and you ran with it instead of just kind of trying to look into it a little bit more. Also, let's go back to the presentation. Let's get back there. I'm sorry. I got a whole lot of tabs open. You know what? No, I'm just going to source your life away. That's what I'll do. Let's go into that Jewish encyclopedia just so you guys can understand that I'm not making this up, pulling this out of nowhere. This is all being sourced. Mountain situated in the desert of Sinai, famous for its connection with the promulgation of the law by God through Moses. The general opinion of modern scholars is that the name Sinai is derived from the name Babylonian moon god Sin. Okay, Mount Sinai is often referred to as the mountain of Elohim. I already showed you guys, I'll close that up since we're done with it. I already showed you guys what Elohim can qualify for. He's going to try to take it out of context, but I'm actually showing you how you qualify. The context will show you when a message is being delivered. That's the context. Is God will being delivered? That is the context. I'm sorry, let me show my screen. Apologize. Please bear with me. Keep it in context. I'm going to go to my third source. This is out of McClinton and Strong's as well. I'll show it and source it in a second, but for right now, I'll read it. We'll go back to Exodus 19:3. It says, and Moses went up to God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain. Okay, so we see right here where it says God and it says Lord. Has he shown us the distinction between these two titles and who it applies to, Mr. You have the affirmative? No, you have not. Saying, thus shalt the Lord say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant. And then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth in mine, and ye shall be unto me as the kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words that I speak unto the children of Israel. I go to Exodus 20. And God spake all of these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. When Moses was in Egypt, when the plagues were coming, did God do these things himself, or did he deploy angels to do it on his behalf? When God sent death in Egypt, since this is the reference, did he send an angel of death? God uses a in between. He uses whatever he has to in order to deliver the message. Understand that, Mr. Cultural Context. Either angels are doing it or God gave directives to Moses and Aaron with any other thing that happened. God told Moses to do this to the staff. God told him do this with the wine. God told him lift his hand, the frogs came up. Those are people. When death came, angel. Are we understanding the difference? Let's go. Is my screen still up?
Yes, sir.
All right, we have more references right here. Once again, I show you we're back in the blue letter. We have, and when the Lord saw and he turned aside to see, God called him unto the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses, here I am. Let me go to, I'm sorry, dang, this is pretty small. I'm sorry, give me a second. Can you guys see this? Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we see you.
Okay. I'll go back into the scriptural references. I'm in the blue letter. And we have, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in the flame of the Lord, YAHAWAH. And we have the angel, Malak. We have Malak and YAHAWAH being used at the same time. We have the title angel, and we have of the Lord. This has to be distinguished. He has to show, is this Christ indefinitely? He's saying that they have words to show when a messenger is actually delivering something. The Hebrew has words for that. Okay, where's the words for Christ on Mount Sinai? Show that. Trying to do what I'm doing is cute, but your task is to show Christ. What's the word for that? And where can we see it in the Old Testament? Can we see it anywhere in the Old Testament? I don't think so. I'll go to my last source and then I'll leave it alone. Let me get right to it. Just to show you guys that I wasn't pulling this out of nowhere. I'm sourcing up. Share. Boom. We have the Knave's concordance. And this is where I got the correlation to if it's being referenced right here. It says Sinai in the Bible, a mountain range in the peninsula east of the Red Sea. You understand that? Do you like this? Is this a better source? See, what you're doing is you're putting scriptures on the screen, and I'm forced to believe it actually says what you said. I don't believe nothing you say. I think all of those scriptures you pulled out is a misrepresentation, and you haven't quoted not one. Yeah, you put it on the screen. How do we verify it says what you say? I think you're trying to pull the swammy on us. I think you're trying to hustle us. I think you're trying to play games. Do you know what sourcing up is? This isn't my understanding. This is the scholars. Knave's topical biblical concordance. You see this? Do you know what this? Can you locate this? Do you know where this is? If I show you on the map? And this is where I reference right here. This is where I pull from. It says the law delivered to Moses. I believe that I showed clearly that Christ is nowhere in the wording mentioned in the scripture. And I show what qualifies as an angel. Do not forget, he said Christ was not an angel. And I go back to my presentations, which he said I misrepresented, which is horrendous. Acts 7:53. Who have received the law by the disposition of angels. Remember when I defined disposition? When he talked about cultural context and operating on the behalf of an authority, that's disposition. I gave that to you first round, but you couldn't correlate that with cultural context. Acts 7:38. This is he that was in the church. Who's the church? Is it the people? In the wilderness. If they're in the wilderness, where did they leave? Is that Egypt? With the angels which spake to him in Mount Sinai. It says angel, sir. This doesn't say Christ, sir. It says angel. You said Christ isn't an angel. You shot yourself in your own foot. Let's go to Galatians. I guess we got to have 3 witnesses. That's what I'm told in the community. I think we both frequent. Galatians 3:38. What purpose then does the law serve? It was added because of transgression till the seed should come to whom the promise was made, and it was appointed through angels by the hand of a mediator. Moses is the mediator. If this is saying what does the purpose, the law then serve? It was added because of transgression. They're in the wilderness, which was forementioned in Acts, because of transgression. Context. It says, till the seed should come to whom the promise was made. Seed down the line. Why is this talking about should come if it's already there on Mount Sinai? Huh? Wait a minute. I think you missed it. Till the seed, the person that you keep talking about should come from who the promise was made through the loins of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all of that good stuff. If it's already present on Mount Sinai, why is this talking about down the line? Makes no sense. We already went over Exodus, man. I'm going to land my plane here. HananYah, I appreciate the opportunity. I have to ask you some questions in this next round, and I'm going to land there, man. Appreciate the opportunity.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left.
All right.
My screen was stuck on that. Y'all wasn't seeing what. Damn. My fault. Give me 1 second. I thought my screen was showing my slide. It should have been. Your slide. Okay, it looked like it was showing my source. But all right.
Come on,
All
give
right.
us the Exodus source.
All right.
All right. All right, man. Look, this is what we be talking about right here, right? So this is what sets us apart. For those that are listening in Clubhouse, this is what set the source apart. Judges, being judged by your peers, and you entering into that third round, right? You going into the question and answer segment, right? And you entering into that third round, and you don't know what's on the judge's mind. I don't know. Are they paying attention? Are they focused in on the information that I'm presenting? Can they hear me? This is what sets you apart. This is what we debaters live for. Shout out to Pro Rizzo, man. Right? This is what we live for. These moments. It's high tension, high pressure moments. This is what it's all about, right, Joshua?
Right, man. Right. We about sourcing up, man. And if you ain't sourcing up, you better be shutting up, man. I'm just saying, I'm happy to see this and be a part of this, man. These brothers is fighting. LV, he finished strong with his third round. I'm looking forward to see how HananYah bounce back in the third round, brother.
That's right. That's right. HananYah, you ready?
Yes, sir. Can you pull up my slide?
Yes, sir. Let's go, family. Let's go. For those that are in the chat, man, those that are in Clubhouse, please share the room. Please share the room. For those that are on YouTube, please hit the like, subscribe to the Source Debate League, subscribe to Genesis 49ers, subscribe to YAHWAH 777, right? For those that are on Facebook, man, hit the like button, man. Share this, man. Share, right? We trying to give these brothers an opportunity to be heard. All right, let's go.
All righty. So that third round, again, it was all over the place. But I'm not even gonna waste my time on that. Let's go straight to Psalm chapter 69 and verse 17. Psalm 68, excuse me. Psalm 68 and verse 17. It says, the chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So what we see here is that the Lord, the YAHAWASHI, who has become our Yeshua, is in the holy place with angels. Okay. Let's go straight to Isaiah chapter 41. Scroll back up for me, brother. Isaiah. No, sir. Just scroll up a little bit. We're gonna be there in 1 second. Yep, right there, right there. Isaiah 41, verse 4 and verse 26 says, who hath wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning, I the Lord, the first, and with the last, I am he. Verse 26. Who hath declared from the beginning that we may know, and before time that we may say, he is righteous. Yea, there is none that showeth. Yea, there is none that declareth. Yea, there is none that heareth your words. Right? So we see here that the Lord is from the beginning. Right? And I just demonstrated that the Lord was present with angels at Mount Sinai, whom the Lord said that he appeared unto them, and that he said that he gave the law to them. Next slide, please. What we're going to go to now is John chapter 1. John chapter 1, verses 1 through 3 and 18. Well, verses 1 through 3. John 1, verses 1 through 3. And we're going to see something here. John 1 and 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Just like it says in Colossians 1, just like it says in Hebrews 1, Christ created all things, him being the bridegroom that's married to Israel. Like it says in Psalm 68, verse 17, the Lord appeared at Mount Sinai. The Lord wrote the law with his finger. Now we can identify something here because he was harping on messenger. But before I do so, what we see here on the screen is the Paleo Hebrew for the word Bereshit. which in translation is in the beginning. We have Bet, Resh, Aleph, Sheen, Yod, and Tav. Go to my next slide. Go ahead, go down. We ain't got time for that. Go down to where it has everything on the screen. Not that one. The next one should be the next one. Get scroll for me, brother. All right, right there. So you want to screenshot this. If you're looking at the screen, you want to screenshot this and study this. I have information to go into this directly, but the Paleo Hebrew goes into the first prophecy that's mentioned in the Bible, right? Which says that the Son of God, who is the creator, has come to the earth to be destroyed and to destroy, right? And I'll go into that in the clubhouse room later on, but let's go to my next slide. I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 40. Isaiah chapter 40. And we're finna get into some of these sources, man. He want to play the little game with Sinai. I can do that on the clubhouse app and show him what Sinai truly is. This is Isaiah chapter 40, verses 1 through 3. Comfort ye, I'm going to just start at verse 3. It says, the voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. We should know that the one that's crying in the wilderness is John the Baptist. The God that's being proclaimed is referring to the one who came in the flesh, the one who became our Yeshua, right? So let's go into Malachi chapter 3, and let's investigate this messenger here. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, behold, I will send my messenger. Why doesn't it say I will send my angel? It says, behold, I will send my messenger. So the translators know exactly what words to put in English to correlate the understanding that's being given in the Hebrew. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. So this is what the Father is explaining about the one that's going to come. Okay, now let's go investigate Matthew chapter 3. Matthew chapter 3 and verse 3 says, for this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his path straight. So John the Baptist is clarifying and verifying that Christ is the Lord that was mentioned in Isaiah chapter 40 verse 3. The same Lord or the messenger of the covenant that was mentioned in Malachi chapter 3 and verse 1. Zechariah chapter 12. We finna try to get through this real quick so I can get to this heavy information here. Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 10. And it reads, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced. And they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. So we see from John 19 verses 19 and 20 that on the cross, the title was written by Pilate, which had the abbreviation, the Yod He Vav He, which is saying that Yeshua is the king of the Jews that was from Nazareth, right? So when we go into Revelation chapter, I'm going to skip to 1 Corinthians chapter 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Let's see what Paul says about some events that took place in the wilderness. We're going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. And it reads, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. We know that it says spiritual rock, and the rock, according to Deuteronomy 32, is referring to the God of Israel. Paul is saying that the God of Israel, or that rock, is Christ. Let's see if we can get a witness to that. Let's go to Numbers chapter 21. Numbers chapter 21 and verse 6. Numbers chapter 21 and verse 6 says, and the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Now let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, and let's investigate this, because Paul is making a statement. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, and we're going to go to verses 8 through 9. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 8 through 9 reads, Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed and fell in one day, 3 and 20,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer. So we see here that Paul, in two places in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4 and verse 9, is saying that Christ was present in the Old Testament that was leading them out of the wilderness. Go to my next slide, please. We're going to go to Jude chapter 1. Jude chapter 1. Next slide. Jude chapter 1. Well, what we have here in Jude chapter 1, and what you see on the screen, is called Papyrus 72. Papyrus 72 is from the earliest, not earlier, the earliest versions of the manuscripts of the New Testament. And in Papyrus 72, it talks about the nomina sakara. The nomina sakara is where something is of divine nature. So in Jude 1 and 5, it says, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believe not. So just like Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 is attributing Christ to being in the wilderness, Jude chapter 1 is in verse 5 is saying that Christ was in the wilderness. So what we have here in Papyrus 72, when you look up the nomina sakara for Papyrus 72, in the earliest manuscripts, it said Jesus Christ. What in the blue world is Paul and Jude referring to, and what information are they going off of to say in the earliest manuscripts for Jude 1 and 5 and Papyrus 72 that Jesus Christ was in the wilderness? Did they have the understanding that, go to my next slide. Did they have the understanding that Jesus Christ, being the Lord, or the Yod He Vav He, the behold hand, behold nail, is the one that was in the wilderness? Right here, we have an insert from the book, which is called Putting Jesus in His Place, chapter 8, which is titled, Jesus Has Always Been There, by the author. The author name is, give me 1 second. I get the author name in a second. Okay. It's by Robert M. Bowman Jr. and J.E.D. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but we're at chapter 8, Putting Jesus in His Place, right? And I'm gonna read this here. I want to make sure I can still be heard. This is a book that is from this author. It says here, it says, in fact, this is probably what the original text of Jude explicitly said, referring to Papyrus 72. Many of the earliest manuscripts actually says Jesus instead of the Lord in verse 5. And this is most likely the original reading. There are three principles of the discipline of textual criticism that, when considered together, point to this conclusion. The first principle concerns the external evidence of the origins of the manuscript. All other things being equal, the earlier and more widely attested reading is to be preferred. In this case, both Lord and Jesus are among the earliest readings, but Jesus is more widely attested. The Vaticanus and the Alexandrians, Unicals, 4th and 5th centuries, respectively, both have Jesus, while the Sinaiticus and C. Unicals, also of the 4th and 5th century,
I paused his time. He cut out.
Did he drop out, Jeremiah? He got 5 minutes to get it together.
Hey, am I heard? Hey, can I be heard?
There you go. You back in.
No.
All right. Sorry, I can't see it from the screen, so I'm going to my screenshots and reading it there. But I just read, if people can screenshot this and zoom in, it's simply saying that in the earlier manuscripts, go to my next slide, that in the earlier manuscripts, it actually, where it says Lord in Jude 1 and 5, it actually said Jesus. This is in the earliest Greek manuscripts, which is in Papyrus 72, next slide, which is in Papyrus 72, right? And I just read from an author, Putting Jesus in His Place is the name of the book. In chapter 8, Jesus has always been there. What we see here on this link on the screen here is the Hebrew for the word Torah, right? I covered the Yod He Vav He, meaning behold nail, behold hand. What we have here is the Tav, the Yod, the Resh, and the He, which is in reference to Christ being the man that is nailed to the cross. When you look up the Paleo Hebrew, the tav there, the symbol for the tav is the cross. The yod is the nail. The resh is the man or the prince, and the behold is the man. Okay, and if you can screenshot this and you zoom in, it's going to go into this information for Torah. It says tav, the T sound, pictures a cross, meaning to seal or covenant. Vav, the O sound, pictures a nail or peg, meaning to add or secure. Resh, the R sound, pictures the head, meaning a person, the head or the highest, like the most high, the highest. And the hey, the ah sound, a person with hands raised, meaning to reveal or behold or what comes from. So in retrospect, the Torah actually says, behold, the man who secures the covenant, or what comes from the man nailed to the cross. This is pointing to Jesus. This is the Yod Hey Vav Hey that gave the law. So let's go to my last slide. This is Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 12. Isaiah 33 and verse 12. And it reads here, Isaiah 33 and verse 12.
2
minutes. And it reads here. This is Isaiah 33 and verse 12. Can you go to my next slide? It says, and the people shall be as the burnings of line. I'm sorry, I'm at 33 and 12. Give me 1 second. 33 and 12. Okay, hold on. I copied down the wrong scripture. So let me just pull this up real quick in my little 2 minutes. It is going to be in Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 22, not verse 12, Isaiah 33 and verse 22. It says, for the Lord, the Yod Hey Vav Hey, is our judge. The Lord, the Yod Hey Vav Hey, is our lawgiver. The Lord is our king. The Yod Hey Vav Hey is our king, and he will save us. This is the Yod Hey Vav Hey that gave the law on Mount Sinai. This is the Yod Hey Vav Hey in Isaiah chapter 12, verse 2, that has become our salvation or our Yeshua. Now, the brother mentioned something, and I want to point this out. In Psalms chapter 2, in verse 2, it reads this here. Psalm chapter 2, in verse 2, it says, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. Now, the word there.
We lost him.
I paused his time. He has about 30 seconds left. So,
hey, can I be heard?
We can hear you.
All right. So I was just saying in Psalm chapter 2, where it says, the people, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. So what I demonstrated was that Christ, the Hebrew term MASHAYACH, is the messenger of the covenant, like it says in Malachi 3 and in Isaiah 40, that this messenger is the Yod Hey Vav Hey that appeared to Mount Sinai, like it says in Isaiah 33 and verse 12, and gave the law. So from the information that I demonstrated,
that'll be time up.
Woo! All right.
That's better, I guess.
All right. Can everyone hear me? Again, man, we appreciate everybody tuning in to the Source Debate League Elimination Chamber Tournament, 16-man tournament for a $500 cash prize to the winner and a shot at the Source Debate League Heavyweight Championship match against Joshua, the Scholastic Bully, right? We appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Please like, share, and subscribe, right? We continue to build the brand, right? That is the end of the 3 rounds presentation, all right? That is the end of the 3-round presentation, all right? We're going to have a short intermission, man. We're going to play some music from our brother, LV, and a video from yours truly, right? You can get my my album is out now, Social Issues 2, right? You can DM me for your copy today. LV, man, you got that plug and ready?
Yeah.
All right, if anybody got any clothing line or any businesses that they want to promote during this tournament, right, as we continue to generate interest in the Elimination Chamber, you can promote here. In between the question and answer segment, and the presentation, you will be able to present and your business to the people so they can see how to find you. All right, you ready, LV?
Yeah, it's on you. It's loaded.
Is there anything you want to say about this track, man?
Man, just follow me on YouTube at Clubhouse Streets.
For the work.
Your mind is in there, harder and harder. What time it is in there? You ain't got a lot of me. Roper. Wipe the frame to the cardiacs. I had to keep them smudge free for the times it wasn't clear. Made my moments out of state, had my mind on Montclair. Think it's different when we travel, but your mind isn't there. Yeah, harder and harder when timing isn't there. Yeah. Habitual rituals and yeah. If it was all just a lie, no surprise to me. Maybe on your behalf, but on my math like lottery. Add it up, we summing up the all prophecy. Wrap it up, might drop it off on your family tree. They spamming me, speaking in vanity. My arms still in the pot, I feel like the insanity. These words of wisdom for those who gon' play hard. Speak the truth when you live, meet your pride at the graveyard. Days on my days off, time off at the days in. It all hurts the same, but it's different when it weighs in. It tastes so bland, but the plan switch occasions. Some occasions I was racing for the moments in amazement. Triggered in differences, vigorous phases. I made off with something you niggas will never make of it. I'm sipping Maker's Mark, now what you make of it? I gave it up, you started taking it. Maybe I showed you love and you started hating it. But no matter what it is, we staying dangerous. Wipe the frame to the cardiacs. I had to keep them smudge free for the time it wasn't clear. Made my moments out of state, had my minds on Montclair. It get different when we travel, but your mind isn't there. Yeah, harder and harder when timing isn't there. Yeah. Habitual rituals and yeah. If it was all just a lie, no surprise to me. Maybe on your behalf, but on my math like lottery.
Yes, sir. Let me share my screen. I want to let the people know. Shout out to General SHAM, man. He has a clothing line, Motivated Focus. Right? You can hit him up on social media. You can also hit me up on social media for Garments of Vengeance. You're looking for headbands, armbands, looking for full garment sets. All right. Garments of Vengeance is the place to be. All right. I want to share my screen. Again, my album Social Issues 2 is out right now. Since we're talking about Christ, I want to play this joint for y'all.
With the game and won't start the fight to Christ. And understand it's more than fornication. Bust a man head for simply acting fraud. Can't hold back my rage, so I lose my job. Tell a man to his face, don't ever play with me. And if you try to play again, I'm catching felony. 9 times being simple jealousy. No, I'm not just telling stories, these is memories. I try to figure how these men have women tendencies. You want to know why I'm mad? Because he offended me. But don't you worry about a thing, I got the remedy. Treat him like the president in blast, I'm talking Kennedy. This is how I feel when I'm in my flesh. Turn the other cheek, got me all depressed. But I'ma listen to the Lord, I know he knows best. Vengeance is the Lord, so I know it's gonna get addressed. Brothers quit the game and won't start it over. Wasn't for the sacrifice, I'm gone, man. Brothers quit the game and won't start it over. Wasn't for the sacrifice of Christ, I'm a goner, man. So please understand, you gon' make mistakes. But I'm covered by the blood and I'm feeling great. People serene, talking stoning me. The sinless one cast the first stone. This is comedy. When did brotherly love make you question loyalty? But I'ma stand with my brother to the death of me. Treat him like a publican is telling you. But I'ma treat my man like Christ treated Matthew. Long suffering. Otherwise, he wrote him talk inside. So unlock the stiffness of your heart and let it purify. Look at the sing of a price and let it buy. This is how we fail in the ancient times. The law should lead to the love, not suicide. Thirsty, unworthy, unjustified. Take another look at the book and simply verify. Yes. They said we filthy rags, we identify. You think you passing judgment at my house? Man, you full of pride. You got no mercy for your brother, you're getting penalized. Find you a closet and repent, cease and desist. Brothers, quit the game and won't.
Am I still in the stream?
Yeah, we all in the mix.
It was just lagging real bad. YAHAWAH.
All right, Jeremiah, we moving on to the judgment. Are you there, brother?
Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Not the judgment, the question answer round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Question and answer segment. Are you brothers ready?
Hey,
right,
hey, Jeremiah, did you get my song?
No, I ain't getting no song, bro. You sent me something? Mad late, son. You mad late. Hey, Joshua, are you ready to explain the question and answer segment?
All right, these two debaters agreed to 5 questions per debater. They got 30 seconds to a minute to give the question and 2 minutes to respond. So who's going to go first? Wait, who's the last person? HananYah had the last round, right?
Yes.
Jeremiah. Okay, so LV should start giving his questions first, right?
Okay, so HananYah.
Hey, hold on. Can I be heard?
Yeah.
Hey, my phone is glitching, so I need to close this tab and come back in. So give me 1 second. I don't know what's going on. It's just glitching.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have to start encouraging brothers to get on a iPad or a laptop during these debates. It is highly problematic to do these debates from your iPhone. I want to make that clear moving forward. Right, Joshua?
Hey, can I get a second song in there since he needs a minute?
No, he's back.
Okay.
Plus, I think HananYah had a song he wanted to play.
Okay.
I think he emailed it to you, YAHAWAH, if you can pull it up.
We can go forward. If anybody want to play songs, we got to line it up before the debate.
We got y'all, though. Again, moving forward, in every debate that we had, if you got something you want to promote, just hit us up. Shout out to Talmud. I see what you got there, bro. Again, we want y'all to send it in to us so we can put it on the screen so that people can see what it is that you have so that they can figure out a way to contact you, all right? We're going to get you taken care of. All right, go ahead, Joshua.
It's on LB.
Now, I don't think I heard you explain the question and answer segment.
No, I'm back. I'm here.
We should be clear on what it is.
Okay. All right, let's go.
HananYah, can you show us anywhere Jesus Christ in the Old Testament?
Yeah, so I went to 1 Corinthians 10 and Jude 1 and 5. So 1 Corinthians 10 says, let me get over real quick. 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 4. I'm gonna start at verse 3. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant," meaning don't be ignorant to this information. "How that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ." So this is placing Christ in the wilderness, leading the children of Israel from Egypt.
Is Corinthians an Old Testament scripture?
No, it's not.
Okay. Please present source for slide. What is that? That is slide 25. Can you show the source for that, please?
Which slide is that?
So 25 on your slide.
Yeah, I don't know them by number. So if you can tell me which slide you're looking at.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Jeremiah, pull up his PowerPoint and go to slide 25, please.
All right.
And put it on the screen, please.
And make it clear I asked for the source.
All right.
This is slide 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there to the right.
All right. The source I use for that, let me try to pull this up. I'm gonna open up this other window on my browser. Give me 1 second. This is coming from the linguistic of the Hebrew language, and the name of the website is TorahIsTeaching.com, where they go into 4 different segments of each Hebrew character and how it points to Christ. So when you're looking at and you're dealing with the Paleo Hebrew is 3 different languages in one: phonetic, numeric, and pictograph. All right. So when we dive into the deepness, because you're gonna need your scuba goggles, your scuba gear, to deal with this deep water that's being presented. When you go into the Hebrew, for each Paleo character or for each word that you see in Paleo is outlining something that is going to happen. So from TorahIsTeaching.com, these are one of the sources that illustrate Torah being the man that's bringing the law that's nailed to the cross, as the God of the Old Testament that came and gave the law, like it says in Isaiah 33 and verse 22.
Is the creator of this source right here from this website, is he an accredited scholar?
That I don't know.
Please show us the source for slide 19.
Go to slide 19.
LV, this is your final question. This is question 5.
Yeah, I'm just making things clear. Yes, please show the source for this. And I want to make it clear that you're just saying it. You're not presenting it and bringing it here for all of us to see. I'll wait. Timekeeper, you was a little late on that last one too. Let's get it together.
Hey, can I be heard?
Yes.
I'm just spicy talking.
Yeah, no,
I'm spicy talking.
Oh, I was just saying.
Yeah, so for slide 19, what we have here, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
So in slide 19, what we have here is the Hebrew for Bereshit, which is in the beginning. This is coming from, like I said, let me pull it back up. It's from Rock Island Books. You can check them out on YouTube, but it's not like a source needs to be had. You just go into the Hebrew language to gather this understanding. If you understand anything about Hebrew and how it functions and how it's created and spoken and its poeticness, of the language itself. Each one of these things that you see on the screen that you can actually go and look up. The pictograph is correct for Bet, Resh, Aleph, Sheen, Yod, and Tav. Each one of these things has a particular meaning. However, when each few characters are placed together, they form a statement or sentence to exemplify what's actually being foretold from the beginning, like the scriptures that I referenced. The lamb is slain from the foundation of the earth. So from the foundation of the earth, what we see is Bereshit in the beginning, the Bet, Resh, Aleph, Sheen, Yod, and Tav. I can go into more information about this once we get on the clubhouse room, but I don't know if I have something to, I mean, it's just dealing with the language. So I don't know how familiar you are with the language, but I can send you something in your back chat to get you familiar with the
I digress.
All right, HananYah, it's your turn to give your 5 questions. You have 30 seconds to a minute to give each question, and LV has 2 minutes to respond.
All right. My first question is in regards to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. When it let me get over here real quick. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4, and it reads, "And did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ." My question is Paul saying that Christ was in the times of the Old Testament, or that the law was given at Mount Sinai?
No, he's saying when he mentions rock, he's merely connecting the foundation. What this individual brings has a foundation from the beginning.
Okay. My next question, in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 9, it says, "Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpent." Is Paul attributing Christ to be in the wilderness with the children of Israel as they leave in Egypt?
No, he's using a language and an analogy that they would understand from the writings of the Old Testament.
All right. Question number 3. In Jude 1 and verse 5, I had pulled a source from Papyrus 72. Okay. I pulled a source from Papyrus 72, which is from the earliest writings of the New Testament. LV, question. In Jude 1 and 5, where it says, "I would therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord," in Papyrus 72, where it says Lord, it says Jesus Christ. Is Jude placing Christ in the time period of the New Testament?
No. Also, when you brought up the papyrus, you failed to cite and source, so I have no idea who's translating, if the translation is right, or if it has been handled or sourced by people who are competent.
I provided a source. But 4th question, let's go to Isaiah chapter 12 and verse 2. Isaiah chapter 12, Isaiah 9 and 6, where it says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." Who is this referring to?
I don't know. It doesn't mention in this verse.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat your answer?
I don't know. It's not mentioned in this verse. I don't see a name.
Okay. That's horrible. Okay. He doesn't know an answer. So let's go over here to Genesis 19 and verse 24.
HananYah, is this your final question, your 5th and final question?
All right. In Genesis 19 and 24, it reads, "Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven." How many lords do you see mentioned here in this verse? Hello, can I be heard?
Yeah, no, I was reading it. I see the word Lord mentioned twice.
Okay.
All right. I guess that concludes our question and answer segment. YAHAWAH, you want to move to the judgment?
Yeah. Let me make this clear, right? So this is the difference between taking the 10 minutes, right, to have a dialogue where you can fire off and frame the questions as much as you want, versus the 5 isolated questions. So for those that are watching, the debaters that are watching, understand the difference between the two. All right. So that went well. Also, I want to say this real quick because I'm getting a lot of messages about the advertisement. I want everybody to know and understand that we have a tournament where we are paying these debaters for the winner $500. So for these advertisement spots, we're only charging $5, right? You can send it to the Cash App. The advertising spots are only $5 to support the league. Help us help you. All right, let us work together. All right, it's just $5 for any promotion that you want us to do. All right, so I just wanted to say that. Joshua, are you ready?
Man, I've been ready, man. I've been ready. Let's get to it, brother.
Ooh, hey, man, look. All right, so this is what I need. Judges. I don't know if the judges have my information, so I know one judge has it, but the other two, you want them to send it to you, Joshua?
Yeah, so Dunamis, DM me on Facebook your pick, and Asar, DM me your pick, and then we'll call on you to explain your pick.
Yeah, you don't have to give an explanation, and just send who you are voting for. Then we're going to allow you to elaborate on that. All right, Maharaka, send me your pick, Facebook or text message, however you want to do it. The reason we're doing that, for those that are listening, we're doing it that way so that a judge doesn't affect the next judge. So the judge sitting there listening to one judge say, well, you know what? That is a good point. Let me change my vote. Nah, that ain't going down here at the source. All right. You're going to make an isolated choice based upon you and you alone. Okay. And no one else commentary, okay, is going to change your decision. All right.
Hey, Dunamis, you can email me too if you can't do it through Facebook. Oh, okay. I see you. All right. So the picks are in. You got your pick, Jeremiah, from the brother?
Maharaka, did you send that?
No, I didn't send it yet. Hold on.
Yeah, don't say it, brother. Just send it to me.
Hey, I want since Kemet was brought up and the Sinai was brought up, I want the Kemet brother, Asar, to be the first one. As soon as you get that pick, I want him to be the first one to give his explanation, brother.
Very good debate, both gentlemen.
Hold on 1 second, bro. I'm still waiting on Maharaka. What in the Sam hell? Okay, I got it. All right, so it's about to go down. If you brothers want to open up your screen, we'll put you on screen so you can be seen. Talk to us, man.
Asar, who you got and why?
Man, it was a good debate from both gentlemen. I lean toward Europa LV in this one. First round, Europa broke it down as clear as possible. The first round for HananYah, he had to explain his information, which is understandable because he's evangelizing Christ into the Old Testament. Second round, I gave to HananYah because he came with the fire, even though I knew his sources weren't as sound. Where our brother LV kind of explained what he was doing as opposed to showing a bunch of sources. He showed one in particular and harped on it. Third round, LV started to step away from you because he pulled out the primary resources. Me and Smash Rockwell just did a presentation on Heru being at the top of Sinai and how you can still see the old temple over there. Then he asked you to show how YAHAWAH and Yeshua are one as a God. And then we also know Abram knew this particular God is a different name as well. And he makes distinctions between the Old and the New Testament as to his name and when he changes his name. Also the Egyptian frame, me and Anonymous Hebrew had a debate a long time ago where I showed it, or actually it was another brother, the other brother. I showed where Egypt starts and where it ends. So I'm familiar with those sources as well. So in this particular case, I gave it to Europa LV because he has primaries. He refuted exactly what you mentioned concerning, and when he asked you to pull up the primary resources for the grammatica that you were using, you had one, you didn't have the other. The other is just a website, and we don't know who made that website. And the other things I mentioned. Good debate, gentlemen.
All right, man. Look, when we be talking to y'all about this debate stuff, man, this is that moment, man. Palms are sweaty. Palms is sweaty. This is your future in the elimination chamber. The first vote goes to LV. All right. All right. Next judge, Joshua.
Let's go with Maharka. See what he got.
Yeah, it was an interesting debate. The topic, did Christ give the law at Sinai? That's the topic. And to be honest, I'm trying to figure out, because I want to hear that part where brother pulled out the audio about the brother saying it's not an angel, because I missed that. But the brother basically proved that YAHAWASHI is an angel on levels as well, a messenger. He came to deliver a message. But I lean towards the brother LV. I feel that his presence was there, strong. Okay. The point of showing without a shadow of a doubt that the Messiah, HaMASHAYACH Yahawashi, gave the law on Mount Sinai. I didn't really see that. You know what I'm saying? Brother pull out scripts I'm familiar with, but I think, it shouldn't take too much to prove certain points in my perspective. You know what I'm saying? The brother definitely got his information on the Hebrew. I definitely see the brother is nasty with the Hebrew and things of that nature. But I just couldn't get with. I think the brother won to me round two. HananYah. LV came out the gate. He did his thing in that round one, and I just give it to LV, man. I ain't got to say too much, but good job.
All right. Hey, Maharaka.
Yeah.
Man, get some oil on that door, man. That is ridiculous, man. What the hell's going on over there, brother?
Hey, I don't mean to disrupt or interrupt, but Henry, you're not welcome nowhere around me, buddy. So you can dismiss this guy.
Let's talk about that after the show, brother Yashar. I had no idea about
that. But he don't need to be on. He don't need to be up here at all.
All right. Is he one of the judges, Joshua? Yeah, he was one of the judges, but we had a SAR replace him because I couldn't get in contact with him.
All right, no problem. We'll get him up out of here then. All right, so we got the third judges? We still got
doing
the third.
This. Okay. Yeah. Can I be heard? Yeah. I went with LV. I felt that LV's points were succinct. His whole argument was that Christ isn't the angel, and the angels gave the law to Moses. So that was his whole argument. I felt that HananYah was building, and he laid down bricks and frameworks for something, but he didn't really get to the conclusive what is the point. So I felt like he was building when he picked up steam towards the end, but I think like LV had a more distinct point that HananYah never really addressed about the angel thing. He was trying to say that Christ is God and God gave the law, but it never really got towards that end goal. Then to like, and another thing, it was close, but it was also the sources. He had the verses up there, but he didn't have the verses there. And I felt that LV had a better presentation because you can read what he was saying. Then towards the end with the language, the letters, and some of the images. Well, I didn't really count those for his argument because to me it didn't build towards his argument. It would have been better if he had sources there where he's getting it from. Or somebody secondary to back him up on what he's saying.
Right. I agree with that, brother. I agree with that as well. Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah, what's the name of the tournament again? Jeremiah, what's the name of the tournament? The
Elimination Chamber.
So somebody
and that glory point was a big point that the brother brought out, LV, that he didn't explain. He emphasized it, but he never explained it. He didn't go into it. That was a good point.
Yeah, he had a lot more questions he had to bring out. Although I did think LV had something where I wanted him to explain who Christ was, but he didn't need to for his argument because his whole argument was good. Yeah.
Well, so your vote is for LV?
Yeah.
That's a 30, folks.
Let's get it. Yeah. Let me just say this,
30, man. Listen, man. Shout out to LV, man. He came back in here, man. That's how you come back and earn your respect, man.
Yeah.
You ain't asking for nothing.
Nah, I ain't taking it from now on. Well,
it was a very tough battle for you.
Salute to my opponent. I try to bring a level of showmanship, and I never wanted to be misconstrued as disrespect. However, I did have a personal vendetta because he is a Precepticon, and even though I have an outstanding relationship with the founders of such, Iz beat me in a debate, and I need that round 2, Iz. So if you make it past that second round, don't talk to nobody else but me. Let's make that clear.
Vendetta.
Oh, man, my man ready.
Clubhouse streets, man. Hey, Joshua, man.
Hey, look.
It's Elimination Chamber, man. Any closing statements, HananYah?
Yeah, the judges made their decision. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. LV did an okay job. I feel I showed in the scriptures that the Lord, the Yod He Vav He, is the one that would have the nail in his hand and on the cross. I showed in 1 Corinthians 10:4 that Christ was in the Old Testament. I showed earlier manuscripts from Papyrus 72 where Christ is being mentioned in Jude 1:5 as being in the Old Testament. I showed that it's two powers in heaven, and from Genesis 19:24 that the Lord appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, like it says in Exodus. And I also showed in Isaiah 33:22 that the Lord gave the law. So, I mean, the judges made the decisions that they made. It is what it is. He did an all right job. I know I did a better job and would scrape him any and every day. But it is what it is.
Merely mention. Wait 1 second. Let the winner talk. That's enough for you.
Hey, I was in the middle of speaking, bro. I was in the middle of speaking, bro. I was in the middle of speaking.
Hold up,
they ain't asked you to speak though. They ain't asked you to speak.
I don't respect that.
Hey, you ain't gotta respect it, but I'm checking it though. Hey, you ain't gotta respect it, but I'm checking it. They didn't ask you to speak, bro. They asked me to speak. They asked me my thoughts and my opinions on the matter, and I'm giving my thoughts and my opinions. I will beat you down in any, like, I know for a fact I won in the eyes of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? These are mere men who gave their honest opinion and they critique on how they judge the debate, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I wish, you know what I'm saying, they would have judged differently and had a better understanding of the information that I was bringing out. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I showed that the Lord is the lawgiver, but apparently they feel that an angel gave the law according to the New Testament, but not understanding exactly what that was. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. It's my second professional debate overall. I took my L, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I prayed that even though I didn't get the dub, I prayed that many people was edified. Because like I said in the preliminary and in the call out thing, that My whole goal and mission is to get somebody edified, and this is something that the nation of Israel lack. They don't understand who their Messiah is before he came through the body of Mary. They don't understand who he is. So my mission and job was to simply show that even in the language, by the Yod He Vav He, meaning behold hand, behold nail, that the one that beheld the nail in his hand is the one that created the heavens and the earth, like it says in Colossians 1, like I read, and like it says in Hebrews 1.
It's round 6.
All right,
nah, bro. The brother asked for my closing statements, fam. The brother asked for my closing statement, so I gave my closing statement. Appreciate y'all.
Guys,
Absolutely. Excellent work, brother. Excellent work. Keep doing it too, because it doesn't always go your way, but it doesn't mean that, stop debate, because you was definitely powerful. It's just, it's just a few things, it's a couple things, and you'll see them in the future, or you'll stand on them, and as you stand on them.
Go ahead, Joshua.
All I'm gonna say is, don't attack the judges' integrity or their understanding, brother. The judges made their pick, has nothing to do with their understanding. They're basing it off the presentations given by both debaters, man. You understand? Both debaters, you did your presentation, and the judges judged on what y'all presented. That's it. No extras.
Hey, Sister Shaya, you got a statement?
Oh, Shalom. I just wanted to, commend the brothers for their honorable displays in this debate. I mean, I've witnessed I've witnessed quite a few debates, but this debate I can honestly say, because it was done decently and in order, and brothers were able to, be respectable, bring their sources and their knowledge. I was actually able to take notes and follow along. I might have felt a little more pressure because I was keeping time, but honestly, I was able to, everything was understandable. And I think both of the brothers really displayed some honor, some dignity here. And there was definitely some edification that came out of this debate. So the water and all praises to the Most High YAHAWASHI, and thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Absolutely.
All praise and glory. All praise and glory. Well, look, folks, for those that are watching on YouTube, man, we're about to go over to the Precepticon room on Clubhouse, man. Rocking and rolling over there. All right, bunch of comments, a bunch of questions. I'm sure a lot of people going to have a lot of questions and comments concerning this debate, man. But this is what it's about at the end of the day, man. The Elimination Chamber. One loss and you out of the tournament, man. That's it. No chances, man. All right, that's what it's about. That's the kind of pressure that's on the line, man. All right, so congratulations to LV and HananYah, man. Keep pushing, bro. You understand? Because at the end of the day, these are all building blocks to make you better and stronger and more efficient with your deliberation of information. Right? Go back, watch this, see what you need to sharpen up, and that's it, man. Move forward, man.
Yeah, because I believe HaMashiach was all through the Old Testament.
Yeah, same here.
First and foremost, you know what I'm saying? It's just the way that brothers
just trying to mute your mic.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure it's clear. I believe Mashiach is all through the Old Testament. Like the brother, and he said he didn't see Isaiah 9, right? You know what I'm saying? Certain things. I see him all through the scripts. I see him in the wilderness. You see what I'm saying? It's just the presentation. You know what I mean? I mean, I could be nice. I debate the streets. This is a different format, but you could bring out the information, but another man can bring it to a way, and you ain't bring it a certain way that it may make the other person's presentation more sharper. That's all it is. Because I believe Mashiach is all the way from Genesis through Revelations. You know what I'm saying? And even in the wilderness and coming down in Numbers 12, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just want that to be said, Prince.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man. Hey, Joshua, man, what's up next, man? Make an announcement for the people. What's up next?
We got a debate tomorrow night, excuse me, between Chakma and what's his name? Professor Mac at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you guys check that debate out. We're going to have another slugfest tomorrow. We're going to see who come out of that alive. You understand? So be on the lookout. I think Dunamis has something to say, Jeremiah. Hold on real quick. Dunamis has something to say before we get out of here. Dunamis, are you there? I guess we lost the brother.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I'll say this before y'all go.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sar, good to see you, brother.
Good
Shalom
to see
to
you,
you.
family. I'm gonna come to Chicago and visit y'all shortly too.
I'm in LA, bro. But listen, great debate. I definitely was edified. I definitely needed to hear some of that information you brought out from on both ends, LV and HananYah. So, hey, HananYah, bro, get with us so that we can talk about the presentation, bro. So the next time you get in the debate, everything is clear. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is clear, and you ain't got to be tripping about reading other type of comments and shit like that. So great debate.
All right. Dunamis, was you saying something, bro?
Yeah, I was just saying like the brother Muhammad was saying, yeah, I believe the same thing. That I believe that the truth that he presented is just the debate, the argument that's being presented. Who presented a better argument from the information they had and the definitions. And the information definition presented by the brother LV was just succinct. So, but that I don't agree to what he's saying to it, but he just had a better presentation. That's all.
That's right, man. We appreciate you, judges, man. I know that's tough. We appreciate y'all sincerely, man. And for all the judges moving forward, man, if y'all know any other good judges, man, we need more Christians. We need more, you know, what we call non-believers, right? We need more, y'all, because we over flooded with a bunch of Hebrews. Understand that, man.
Right.
All right. So with that being said, man, the Elimination Chamber, man, Source Gang. We out.
You sure not got us back.
Little mother gonna try to rob me. Well, I'm gonna show you how we do it up here in Dayton. No, I wasn't trying to rob. Shut up! Why I bust a cap up in you? Now who sent you? No.
Source up, we standing tall in your short stuff.
Yes.
Our lunch is the bullshit that you dressed up. Address us on scholarship, homie, knowing you messed up. So fess up, you look for the best, knowing that that's us. Source up, we standing tall in your short stuff.
Yes.
Our lunch is the bullshit that you dressed up. Address us on scholarship, homie, knowing you messed up. So fess up, you look for the best, knowing that that's us. Sword clown, know that it's over like it's the fourth down. We the source now. Hear a big bang with tanks on ground. More than the scrimmage, yeah, we forcing the sin, yeah, we pushing no limit. Leave the fight with no blemish. You the hometown, but you not receiving no privilege. We gon' do you bad, rape, rob, and pillage. But we nothing like the white man. I can see that you a big fan. Every time we go live, I see you in the damn stands. Watching and plotting, I see that you stalking a bit.
Yes.
You laughing at people, they seeing you taking
Here's the definition of plagiarism. The practice of taking someone else's work and passing it off as one's
Crazy ass nigga, we the source. Yeah, we cite source. Spitting hot flames more hotter than hot sauce. For real? Germy ass nigga.